Hey there, it's the GameBuff here, and today I want to talk about a game that people tend to forget about whenever they talk about some of the really bad games out there. Now, you watch enough top 10 lists of bad games, and for some reason I just never see this game. And I think this is one of the biggest pieces of junk ever made. Now, everybody knows on the NES and some of the early consoles, there's some really bad superhero games. Think about Spider-Man, Return to Sinister Six, X-Men, Silver Surfer, The Punisher, just naming a couple I can think of at the moment. However, there's one piece of junk that just skates through every time and people don't talk about enough. And that's over with. I'm talking about it today. And that game is Spider-Man and X-Men Arcade's Revenge. Let's find out why this game sucks so bad.
They call me loser because they love to spread hate. They call me stupid because I didn't graduate. I'm only what I need, certified GED. They call me out.
In the early 90s, I went from Ninja Turtles into X-Men everything. I read the comics, I collected the cards, I had all the action figures, and I watched the animated series every Saturday morning. So imagine my surprise and excitement when I saw a copy of this game in the electronics at Lowe's of all places. Spidey and the X-Men? And on the SNES? I lost my ever-loving mind. I had to play it. Well, it wasn't for another few years until I got that chance. And oh boy, was I in for a colossal letdown. Let's go ahead and give this one a play. I'll start with one positive though. The music in the intro goes pretty hard. I could almost see a band playing it. Alright, so our game starts with minimal backstory, and then you're thrust into action as everyone's favorite web slinger. In this first level, you navigate through this building, defusing these bombs, if you will, in a particular order so that the door at the end of the level opens up. Alright. Well, you've got your Spidey sense at your disposal, and it does go off each time you're near one of the correct bombs in the sequence. Now, as much as this level sucks, it does control better than the others. However, you've got to play this stupid level every single time you play this game. There's no password or anything, so you're stuck doing this stupid scavenger hunt every freaking time. Now, eventually you memorize the order, but that still doesn't make up for this ridiculous level. Now, if this level seems dumb, just hold on to your hats, people, because some of the most ridiculously stupid level ideas that our poor world may have ever seen is coming. So, you find out Arcade had captured your friends, and now you all must survive as traps. Seriously, Arcade. Out of the entire Marvel Universe, they picked that idiot. Then you pick a character, and you're off. Alright, I'm gonna start with Cyclops, who's in these mine caves. Wait, what just happened? The tracks kill you? How in the world would you possibly even know that when you play this game? Right off the bat, you lose a life when your entire team only even shares it. Why would they do that? So, it turns out you've got to thumb a ride on these mine carts. And you have to wait for the ride, and if you don't use your optic blast to shoot these little bombs on the track, they blow your cart up, and that'll send you to an untimely death as well. Just ask me how I know. Now, when you're in that cart, the game's so slow-paced. The music here also sucks, and at times it's hard to know where to go. You have to make a few blind jumps later on in the level, and that sucks. And let me tell you, even when you know where to jump, missing the cart happens all the time. Alright, whatever. Let's try Gambit now. Everyone who read the comics or watched the show knows how cool this dude was. In this level, you're on the run from this giant spiky ball of death. You're equipped with his ability to throw charged cards, but it's not unlimited. And as you progress, you have to get the green orbs to keep the ball at bay while you make your big escape. Now, one thing here is that while you want to go super fast, you have to take your time and kill enemies because they're going to hurt you real bad if you run into them. Now, this is probably the least stupid X-Men level in the game. Sometimes it's hard to get your cards to go exactly where you want them, and only a couple of hits from the enemies puts you on the ropes. 99 out of 100 times, you're going to die from everything else in a level but the stupid ball. So what happens when the ball does get you? Okay, so Wolverine can't be bad, right? You're trapped in this funhouse full of clowns, and right off the bat, you notice the music is terrible. Mix in the sounds of the clowns laughing, and you get this skid mark on Wolverine's gaming resume. This is the easiest level though, but look at these graphics. This is crap. This is the freaking SNES, and these graphics are marginally, and I mean marginally better than the NES. Once you beat this level, you end up getting chased by Juggernaut, and you kill him by cutting down anvils hanging from ropes to fall on him like some sort of rejected Looney Tunes episode. If the president was to tweet about this, he'd only have one word to say here: sad. Alright, here's Spider-Man's set of levels. These are probably the only character levels that aren't overly gimmicky and are pretty straightforward. Spider-Man controls the same as he did in the stupid intro level, and navigating him through what I guess here is a construction site is pretty straightforward. But why this? Everyone else has some sort of wacky level full of traps, and all Arcade with his stupid bow tie I could think of was this? Maybe since he caught the X-Men first, he had more time. And by the way, in the intro, you see Arcade uses a freaking trash can to capture Gambit. What kind of idiots wrote and designed this? Let's see, a funhouse, chased by a death ball, mine caves, a water level, ooh, a construction site for Spidey. Hashtag, thanks LJN. I saved the best for last. And by best, I mean the worst. The god-awful worst. What would George Takei say about this level? Oh my. They took Storm, the goddess of the elements, a leader of the X-Men, all-around awesome character, and subjected her to this. We have a water level here with all of the generic water level stuff like raising water levels, having to get air, you know, all that crap. Trust me, Arcade's not torturing the X-Men here. He's torturing you, the unlucky sap who's playing this game. I don't care what Chris Field says, this game sucks.
Chuck Tuck failed me because it went down, but not enough to where it wasn't showing. That's just what happened to me.
Here's the thing though, there are good Spider-Man games and there's good X-Men games on 16-bit consoles. Games like X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, Marvel War of the Gems on the SNES, and X-Men 1 and 2 on the Genesis are really great games. So I'm not even going to show you the rest of this game. I just simply can't take the abuse. They all go to a mutual level, they take on Arcade, boom, bam, bam, done, and a crappy ending. Now, I love Spider-Man and I love the X-Men, but I hate this game. Thanks, LJN. Oof. That's it. How could a game with so much promise end up being so much crap? It's like the developers didn't know anything about the source material. They just made a game based on almost nothing. You know what? I don't ever want to play that game ever again. I'm glad that's the only one.
Mama?
Yeah, wait, what are you sitting on? What is this? Oh no. Uh-oh. There's a Game Boy version. Where did you find this?
No.
Oh no. Oh, I'm gonna have to. So here's the port to the Game Boy. They did stay pretty faithful to the source material, and you even have to play through the stupid bomb level each time. Even the order, though, to defuse them is pretty similar. Other than that, you run through one level for each hero rather than the two on SNES, and the short sections for each character before fighting Arcade are gone. The levels for each character are pretty short, and even the stupid water levels here. Yay. The controls are just terrible, but considering it's a Game Boy title, the graphics aren't so bad, I guess. Overall, this one sucks as much or even more thanks to broken controls. There's also a Game Gear version, and it's a much better port. All the levels are here, and it's almost playable. Until you actually try and control it, then it's the same turd as the Game Boy. So that's it. All in, these games should be labeled as must miss. They're not the worst games ever or anything, but they're horrible nonetheless. Instead, play the good ones, like and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned.